Democratic and upmarket image, the Range Rover makes a surprisingly sensible second-hand buy. A classic body shape that's endured virtually unchanged for 21 years. Add a non-dating registration and a used Range Rover can look like new. Buy a 7-year-old example for £5,000, stick on a plate, and only the experts can tell it's not £30,000 worth. Some of the best people have bought and run second-hand Range Rovers, and for some, it even led to a contract to do a touch of promotion.
I had my first one in 1974 when I bought a second-hand one for £2,000, and I had it for 2 or 3 years and sold it for pretty much the same amount of money thereafter. And really I've been doing the same thing with Range Rovers ever since. And now I suppose I drive, 40,000 miles a year in the vehicle, depending how much I'm in this country and how much I'm overseas. And I suppose it's got an upmarket image, but I drive it because I enjoy driving the vehicle, not because of what people may think of me or the vehicle or anything else.
The Range Rover is definitely the ultimate four-wheel drive vehicle. You know, you don't see members of the royal family and, you know, the sort of upper echelon of our society driving about in Daihatsus or Shoguns or Troopers. The Range Rover is the thing, and I think really that to appreciate the quality of it, I think it's very, very important to look at one on a ramp. If you sort of inspect the underside of it, you realise what you're getting for your money.
Range Rover dealers may offer potted palms and peace of mind, but there's no need to pay these highly polished showroom prices if you know what you're looking for.
Should paint it all over.
The Range Rover isn't like a car, it's more like a van. So look for signs of hard work in some unexpected places. This example had a lot of filler on the roof, suggesting some clumsy roof rackery, poorly repaired. Always stand on the sill and check the entire roof area.
Hey, look along here. All rims on the lack a lot. Yeah, been painted all over, isn't it? Don't want to put filler here.
Mechanically, the Range Rover is very strong. Its heart is a marvellous V8 engine, which is good for 200,000 miles, if properly maintained. Neglect and abuse it, and it can deteriorate very quickly. Pull out the dipstick and look at both the quantity and the quality of oil in the sump. Here it's dirty and black and obviously hasn't been serviced for some time. It's also halfway down the dipstick, so this may have engine problems on the horizon. Watch for a discharge of blue smoke on startup, which could mean that the engine is burning oil and worn. And while you're at it, listen for the tappets at the top of the engine. A loud ticking is not a good sign. This one sounds perfectly healthy. Take a good long look at the bodywork and check for scratches, dents, stone chips and rust blisters. And have a good look at those slab-sided doors as well. They're very vulnerable to parking dents from jealous Cortinas. But pay particular attention to the tailgate, which is the Range Rover's notorious rust trap. Most elderly examples will have had 1, maybe even 2 replacement tailgates at some time. On this one, you can just see it's beginning to go down here, and although it's not too bad, it'll need a replacement within a couple of years. A fully stamped service history is a must on a used Range Rover. It can add up to £1,000 to the second-hand value. Not only does it show you how well the car's been maintained in its life, it can also prove that the mileage is genuine. Range Rovers get clocked like everything else. And while you're here, have a good look at the interior. Range Rovers get used in mucky and muddy conditions, and some of it rubs off. Pay attention to the seats. They can fray and tear. Some of the electrical controls can test the patience of a saint. Handles break off. In fact, on some of the earlier 1980 examples, the trim could have been made of papier-mâché and worn better. You see, you have to remember that the Range Rover was made and designed by the same people who made the Allegro, and you might even recognize the odd bit here and there. That door handle down there, that's genuine 70s Morris Marina.
Speed is not the Range Rover's strong point. By today's standards, the 3.5-litre model is as quick off the mark as the Archbishop of Canterbury in full regalia, but it does make an effortless motorway cruiser. Petrol consumption is a major downside, and if you enjoy yourself, reckon on 15 to the gallon.
Always insist on a test drive and keep your senses peeled for those expensive clonking noises. Coil springs can break, shock absorbers can break, and you can get wear in the drive shafts. So try the throttle on-off technique, like this. If there's a lot of banging and clunking, you know you've got expensive bills to come.
While the majority of Range Rovers never go near a ploughed field, there's always the odd one that imagines it's a Land Rover. If you think your potential purchase might have done a spot of mountaineering, be extra wary for rust, chassis and body damage. There are a wide range of specifications: 2-door, 4-door, Vogue and special equipment, automatic and manual transmissions, but which makes the best buy?
In my opinion, I think there's no substitute for the special equipment model, which obviously one's got all the creature comforts of leather, air conditioning, sunshine roof, electric windows, electric seats. I mean, the electric seats on a four-wheel drive vehicle is absolutely incredible. You know, you get into it, you've got the same panache there as you have with the Rolls-Royce. You can, you know, sort of adjust the seats and play with your air conditioning, get the sunshine roof open. Absolutely super. That is definitely the king among its peers.
If you fancy a diesel Range Rover, remember that while you'll get better fuel consumption figures, they're considered noisy, underpowered and not that refined. There's never been a better time to buy a used Range Rover. Traditionally the company director's toy, some companies are now shedding cars and directors like there's no tomorrow. The current recession has made used Range Rover prices the lowest for years.
Rest assured, whichever model you choose, you'll own a versatile, practical and individual machine that's built to last. And you never know when such versatility might come in useful.